Racism means basically like
a large part of a race feels that they're superior to another race, and so not only do they believe that, but they act on it.
Examples would be in class. Sometimes I'd be the only black kid, and we read a book like, I don't know, Huck Finn, and then there's that uncomfortable moment, the magic word would come up, and people would look at you and like, what's his reaction and things like that.
I was walking home from school with this one white girl, and we just gone off the bus, and we were almost home, and there were these group of black kids that just gone out of school, and she was like, oh, let's cross the street, there's a group of black kids, I don't want to run into them. And so she told me, which I don't even know why she would do that.
I used to wear a sweatband like just to reinforce my wrist, and I had a teacher come up to me and say, you should take it off because it looks gang affiliated.
I've been in situations where, you know, I had to cross the street because I didn't want to scare the white lady that was walking.
I would actually, it would get to the point where I would start to count how many times a woman would clutch her bag.
When I was 16, I was leaving my mom's house in my pajamas, which had snowmen on them, with my brother, and we were actually stopped by the police rather aggressively.
I've been stopped by the cops on my way between classes because we have two separate buildings, walking from one building to the other building as my white students in the same class walk by me.
It's kind of upsetting because we live in a world where my mom has to be afraid when I walk outside from the people that are like meant to protect me. And I don't like when my mother feels like that. You know, I love my mother. I want her to always be happy.
You know, I walk tall, I keep my head up, try to be very articulate and polite. And so, of course, I was like, okay, I'm going to be fine because I act a certain way. And of course, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. The way people perceive you, is not up to
you. So.
Yes, happy New Year. How you mean?
Happy New Year, everybody.
One more year to fight the struggle, you know?
Not to fight. Let's change our wording up. One more year to overcome the struggle.
The same thing?
No, you said fight.
So that
fight means that you're in a battle. Overcome means the battle is done.
The battle not done yet.
Welcome to Here to Help
One more year.
I can't. I can't. You just want to argue the case. That's all it is.
Well, you did too, so it's all good.
Doesn't matter, I won. Welcome, everybody, to Here to Help You on my TCN TV network. So I want to give big ups to, first of all, our new intro.
Chrissy.
Whole bunch of smiles.
For you, yes.
No, yeah. Almost every clip we're laughing.
Every clip you were smiling, I tell you that.
I laugh a lot. What can I say? I enjoy it. I enjoy laughing.
There you go.
But that was really cool. That was created by the one and only Grant Browning.
Big up yourself, Mr. Browning.
We appreciate you. I think that captured us really, really well. Like the grassroots.
We had enough clips to go ahead and do it. So, it was excellent.
We've been doing this for how long now? Two
Count.
and a bit years?
Count.
And you know what? Throughout that time, we have seen like ebb and flow with our viewers. I think when we first started, we were doing really, really well, and then people kind of fell off. And I'm only talking about that because today we're talking about unity and how we need to start doing more. That video, I shared that because I wanted people to understand that we all have an experience.
Right.
And the African or Black experience is a unique experience, and it cannot be discredited. And you have to be able to rise above the people who are like, oh, slavery happened years ago, and oh, don't even like honor those conversations. Don't even get into that. Remember, you only debate with your equals. When you hear talk like that, you know they're at a level of ignorance that you can't, don't even go back there. At some point you were there.
Yeah.
I think we all were.
You know, and like Malcolm X says, you know, like you gotta respect the people who are still there because you were there as well.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So by
I
means,
just
you
don't
know,
argue with them.
We now require new intelligence. I mean, we're approaching, of course, some say that we're already in the Aquarian age. Some say we're approaching the Aquarian age.
Yes.
Which simply requires a new level of intelligence.
Yes.
So this is something we need to go ahead and do.
And for me,
wow, big up.
Yeah, we're doing a whole bunch of stuff now this year. We're just gonna try stuff. We're just gonna do things. Like I'm on live on Instagram right now too. Like so if you're on Instagram, definitely go to my TCN TV to get the full picture of all of this.
Mystic Melody first, you know,
and Dave.
Ranking there.
Dave's here too. Okay, so let's go into the fact. Let's talk about a few things. And Dave, I want to bounce a couple ideas off you today. Okay, so of course, as we were talking about, Africans are people who are very diverse. We are throughout this world, and we are diverse in every way. The way we speak, our culture, our faiths, even our outlooks on life.
Yeah.
Right. So I want you to rid yourself of the idea that African people are all the same, because we are not. Yes. We have our differences. Now, what unites us, though, are our experiences. Our experiences, unfortunately, are very negative experiences. We have to deal with a lot more. It doesn't matter what anyone says. As a Black person, and we're going to get into that, because that's in a few things down, you soon realize that the playing field is not very level.
You know, and the earliest we can go ahead and teach our children and educate our children, right? That, of course, the playing field simply is not level, it gives us a better survival rate.
I think so. Now, something I noticed when I was doing some background research was that it's clear that if you try to attribute a characteristic to all Africans, it's almost like trying to attribute one characteristic to all human beings.
Stereotyping, right?
Yeah, it's impossible. You can't do that, right?
I mean, I think that goes across the board for any type of culture as well, right?
Living, loving, and dying are probably the only three things, and it's a very general. Those three are very general, because in living comes, like, people would be like, oh, debts and taxes. Yeah, well, that's part of living. So living, loving, and dying,
right,
are the three things that all humans have in common.
Yes.
We can't avoid any of that. Right?
It is universal.
That is a universal thing, but there are differences when it comes to other things. Just, again, the experience of living, loving, and dying is going to be different.
Of course, of course.
So there are some things that do bring us together as Africans. And I'm going to interchangeably use Africans and Blacks. I started using Africans when I met Dave, because Dave was like, Black is not a people. It is a shade, not a culture. So I started saying Africans because I go back to where we came from, all of us.
Yeah. You know, you'll have people out there who are going to go ahead and argue that theory. And by means, hold on to it. Because, of course, you know, we still use it for demarcation, right? But at the end of the day, we have to be proud of the name that we have now inherited, and that is Africans.
Africans. So something that brings us together, and this is true, our pride. So Black pride is the appreciation not only for the present, but also the past and, of course, the future of our people. So it's not discretionally defined as just celebrating Black History Month. That's part, again.
Yeah, that's part of the pride. Yes.
Right? So it's a lifestyle, and that can include, but it's not limited to fashion, hairstyles, music, art, okay? Just as you have pride for your country or for like a profession that you're in, it's the same way that you need to have pride for being who you are.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it elevates the experience, right? The other end of the day is, like you said, you know, we as Africans, we're looking to go ahead and have that human experience, right? And of course, you know, the trials and tribulations that we do go through deter us from having really, really enriched lives.
Because of that experience.
Of course, you know, and because of this pride that we should have within ourselves, for our culture, you know, for our people, right? It should go ahead and of course, enhance this experience that we all so deserve.
So I want to get into, I'll be able to finish it. See, this morning, this show, guys, I put the show together this morning at like 6 o'clock-ish, 6:30-ish a.m.
About
we
that.
couldn't decide what we wanted to do.
It was hard pressed. It was, you know.
Sorry.
No worries.
We had a general idea of what we wanted to do, but nothing concrete. And of course, because the spirit always brings things to me, the universe always brings things to me, I thought about unity. Why not talk about that?
Right.
There's something in unity they talk about, or actually, when talking about Black people, you always talk about like soul. There's a soul that we have, like an and almost like an energy. Like when a Black person walks into a room, it doesn't matter if what they're wearing. When they walk in, there is something that comes in with them. It's not always a positive thing, mind you.
Right, but you can see the difference between now, of course, us, right, and any other culture.
We have a swagger.
Yes, right, and you can see that when now somebody from another culture has been around us for countless and countless of years. How see now they've taken on.
They have the swagger.
Exactly.
And you see it, like, it's interesting. Sometimes the most intriguing people are people who are in your culture who are not of your culture. For example, like when I see a white dread, I'm just like,
them exist? Weird. How come your hair look so? How long it take
how
to
did
grow
it
so?
take you? How did it even lock? You had, like, what happened? So,
For real.
but no, it's like there's something about us, and it's something we need to understand that does unify us.
Yes.
Right? You
Of
know,
course.
like, and it's true. If you go away to college, like if you go away anywhere, and there's one other Black person in that room, where do you find
Automatically.
yourself?
Of course, automatically, as I'm saying.
Somehow you Jim Screech over there. Anyhow, when we come back, we're going to continue going over a few other things that unify us as Black people. And these are the things we need to kind of focus on more so than the things that make us different. We'll see
Agreed.
you soon. Here to help you.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
As a Black woman who was a Black girl, I see the attack on us comes in a very different form. In some ways, it comes in the same form. You know, people do experience racial profiling and police brutality, but sometimes you come across women who have not had that direct interaction. But we're attacked in so many nuanced ways.
So you have internal race issues within our own culture, and then the external race issue, and then your mothering issue around race. So for me, race and being a woman of color is so multi-layered. It's like you can excavate all day.
2 uniformed security guards walked over to us, one white, one Latino, and began to ask us questions about what we were doing in the lobby of that hotel, if we were a guest. Quickly responded and said that I was in fact a guest. I was asked details, my name, what room, and it was at this point that I became very upset.
And then you start to wonder, well, what other difference could it be if you're a white cop, I'm a Black female? What other difference, what else could I have done to piss you off this much? It just starts to then look racial.
We actually had to bring in a white colleague from the Justice Conference before anyone could get an official response from the hotel.
Our experience this way. Our
I know,
experience.
but I was looking at you.
Welcome back to Here to Help You guys. Actually, we were just talking about the fact that this week's show and last week's show are like night and day.
Yes.
If you get a chance, definitely go
Tune into
check out last
week.
week's. If you're on YouTube, you can just go to the video from the video before this one. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, shout out to everybody, Martin Lee.
Shout out to Martin
appreciate
Lee.
the love out there.
Yeah,
man.
we heard you guys were dying at the video. It was a good video. It was a good show. But this week, a little bit more serious. Not really serious, just more, I think, like shining light.
Yeah, and we get a chance to go ahead and outline some of the positive things that we've done, right? Some of the negative aspects of our experience, how we're doing in regards to like turning this around. It's time. We have no excuse.
Sorry. I'm trying to
You multitask.
I'm trying to multitask. I'm gonna get good at this though because I feel like we need to be on. We can invite people from Instagram over to anyhow. So let's go. Let's keep moving through this. Staying focused. Pain.
Yes.
Pain is another thing that unifies us, not only as a people but humanity. We all feel pain.
Yeah.
Whether you're Asian, Hispanic, East Indian, West Indian, European, everyone feels pain.
The thing about pain, especially with us as Africans, is that sometimes we have used this pain to go ahead and divide us.
Yeah.
You haven't, suffered as much as how I've suffered, so you can't, we
But
can't build.
It goes back to that argument we were saying before where people are like, oh, well, slavery's been done for years. Well, it's like saying, oh, well, Jews were killed too, and you don't see us complaining about it. Do we really need to go into the genocide, though? Like, that's a whole nother topic. End of the day, pain is pain.
Yeah, pain is pain.
We've all experienced it, and none of it's good, right?
Agreed.
Right? Okay. Okay. You likely gravitate to people who share your accomplishments. So this one, I have a little bit of thing to say about this. This is where I feel we have the most problems in our community.
Success?
Yes.
And the ideal of it?
If someone else is successful, we enjoy people being successful, but not as successful as us.
You see, you know what? Let's go back to education, especially with respect to that. Right? We've been educated for the fact that, our enslavers, right, will only go ahead and give us enough to be successful. So we've adapted that mentality and we applied it towards our own people.
See, you're so wise. You're still wearing your hat, guy?
Yeah, man, I'm cold.
I just realized it now. I'm sorry.
It's not like the man dragging the cat outside, but still.
There was a man dragging a cat outside, guys.
I swear this thing was dead.
See? We'll stop. We'll just stop there. That's just like shiny squirrel. We just went somewhere with that, but it was hilarious to see.
You be dead cat.
But no, they talk about this whole term crabs in a barrel, and that's what I think about when I think about this. Like, it's very unfortunate that sometimes we really cannot praise each other's success. Like, we see someone doing better, it's like, oh.
At least not genuinely, right?
It's not a genuine one, and you can tell because they don't support you.
Yeah, and you know what? Part of it, once again, of course, is like you said before, during the break, is internally. What is this individual? What is the individual? Like our trauma is serious, man. And it's sad and it sucks that we go ahead and and we hurt the people that we love, which happens to be people who look like us, right? So
unfortunate.
It is what it is, man.
Future aspirations.
So I like this one, yeah,
You like this one?
Yeah.
So sometimes we get caught in defining the African culture as what has happened in the past instead of really looking towards the future. So African people have begun to look towards the future a lot more now. A few years ago, many aspired to be the first black president. Guess what happened?
Right.
It occurred.
Right.
Regardless of what you want to say about Obama and all the,
No, it's an aspiration.
He is still and will always be known right now as the only, well, no, not the only, because there's other black presidents before
in our
him.
generation.
But in our generation that we notice, who looks like someone like us in the White House.
Relatable.
Right? So you like this. Why do you like this one so much?
It's like you said before, right at the beginning, in regards to now looking to the past, but also, planning towards the future. Our history or her story, right? Our story. It's those examples are supposed to go ahead and assist us as we chart the course for the future.
Yeah.
Right. It once again, of course, because a lot of us are simply stuck and deeply rooted with the pain of the past. It's hard for us to go ahead and navigate to the, of course, future waters, or to shut up shop. Right.
Pain goes deep.
It does. But the reason why I like this is that now, once again, in regards to now. The elevation, not only of course us as individuals, as adults, but also what we consider to be the future, which is our children. Right, planting those necessary seeds within them, or remember Annie says that silly, which also means silly, right? So I mean, planting those seeds, of course, the water and the nurturing, so on and so forth. So that
You
future.
know what culture I'm actually really impressed with for doing that? The Asian culture.
Yeah.
They're very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
They truly, truly are. Like the type of discipline they instill on their children is just, it's something that honestly, I'm sorry, we lack.
Well, remember, I mean, we're in a Western society, so yes, when we compare it, we're still the only people that have lost our culture, right? And
Yeah, we don't even have one.
we fight each other to go ahead and define what our culture should be, right? So of course now we're looking out to the Asian now who's done this, who simply is a practice that we've also done, right? But we can praise them and say, yes, I like the way they do it,
Yeah.
right? But it's harder for us to go ahead and draw examples from our own.
Man. Well, openness. This one I figured you might have a field day with. So one thing that unifies us is very true.
Mm-hmm.
I think Africans on a whole are very welcoming. They are. When you they will do for you.
Yes.
Don't cross them though. So African people have historically been a very welcoming people.
Mm-hmm.
They're a race that is open to new cultures, peoples, and trends.
Right.
Now, the ability to adapt and welcome people allows African people to understand others who are different and have compassion for Africans that they might not personally know.
Right.
Now, I know what you're going to say about this already. I think you're going to say that. Let me guess this.
Go ahead.
That our openness has also been to our detriment.
Of course.
I see. I knew
of
this.
Of course, right? Let's look at the book that we've often mentioned, The Destruction of Black Civilization, right, by Chancellor Williams, where he points out, right, countlessly, right, of course, the examples of our detriment. But not only does he do that, but he also points out the positivity of openness as well. The Luanda people, without a drop of blood, were able to go ahead and expand their empire, right, through openness. Right? So
it's possible.
It is possible, definitely.
But we opened up Africa to Europeans. And
yeah, the Portuguese,
You know what happened there.
The outskirts, right? So yeah, we get it. But once again, like the examples of our story, they're there to go ahead and assist us where we chart this wonderful future.
Sticking more on the positive side and not the fact that when you open to certain people who are just not good, they will take everything. So we've got to stay on the positive side,
we still got to be wise as a serpent, as they say, right?
Wise as a serpent. I like it. So when we get back, actually, the video we're going to come back into is something I think parents should play for their children. And you'll see why when we get back on Here to Help You.
Peace and love, family.
Hello, my name is Anisha, and I'm the production manager of TCN Network. Have you ever wanted to host your own show? Do you have a message to share? Well, you're in luck. Start here. Philip, are you humble, disciplined, responsible, selfless, and enthusiastic? Those are our core values. And if you identify with them, you could be part of a growing network that focuses on positivity and uplifting our community. We can't wait for you to join us on TCN Network and hope to hear from you soon.
Dear child.
Dear child.
Dear child.
The reason we have to have this talk is because you are a Black child in America.
I need you to know that, man, there's so many things going on in the world.
I won't lie to you, you're going to see some things that are going to break you down. It's going to hurt.
I know how hard it is for you to see yourself in the place of Tamir Rice.
So I need you to always be prepared and always be on your guard. And it takes away from you being a little kid, I know. But I'm trying to protect you right now.
If you are approached by police,
just stay calm.
Don't fight back. Don't give any rebuttals. You have to understand, if you want to stay alive, you have to do what they say
because the difference between me seeing you again and not seeing you again.
Sad to say, sometimes it may not even work. I'm just gonna be honest. It may not work at all. I'm sorry.
This video.
Powerful.
This video.
It is powerful,
So
man.
I liked it because it definitely exemplifies some of the points that we were bringing up. You know, like the experience. We are, as a human race, there's a lot of similarities, but as when you start to really look at the cultures, there's some significant differences.
Of course.
And an African, being a black person, any African living in the diaspora, our experience will always be different.
Naturally.
And this is something that needs to unify us and not separate us. Okay? We have to understand that we are all going, whether you're half caste, whether you're full, what? Because I said half caste?
Long time I hear them word there, you know.
Because I used to say half breed, and one half breed. I remember it was a guy. He got vexed. He's like, a breed is a dog. I'm not a dog. I'm not a mongrel. I'm caste. I'm like, okay.
That's even worse.
I was like, I know. Okay, I'll use that. Whatever. It's again, I don't. That's an experience. That's an experience in itself. Even that being half, like you have to honor both. You're treated as one. This is the thing I really like, and I'm gonna go into this.
Go ahead.
Really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead. Perch up for this.
Mixed people have a difficult experience in itself.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you look at a mixed child, if they put them in the world, they are still black.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't escape it.
Correct.
You could straighten their hair as much as you want. You're still black.
Yes.
And that's how you will be seen. Period.
Remember, and that goes back to, of course, like the old rules, one drop
of blood. One.
Right? One drop.
That's it.
Right?
You're not accepted by either sometimes. So that's another difficult experience.
True, and it's something now, it's not just isolated to us here within the diaspora. Let's look at instances where now it happened on the continent as well, right? When those Asians of yesterday, not of course what we know as Asians today, but Asians of yesterday walked those 17 miles to go into Northeast Africa, right? And of course now mated with Native Africans. And now you have a mixed breed. So now you could just imagine.
Caste.
Sorry. Thank you. Half caste. You're absolutely right. Thank you very much.
They're not dogs.
See, old talk, isn't it? Right? But anyways, like, you can just imagine, guys, what they felt as of yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's what we've inherited, and what's been passed down, and like to see to this day, right? This experiences hasn't changed from 4,000 years ago.
Unfortunate. But in saying this, that should still be unifying us.
That's the thing.
Right?
Absolutely.
Religion, this I was like. Interestingly enough, though, religion is one thing that does unify black people.
Yes, we are a spiritual people, even though we can go ahead and the two of them mixed up. But however, yes.
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 And I'm saying this, I'm talking religion, not spirituality right now. I'm talking straight up Christianity or Muslims. I'm using those two because they're the two largest sectors of religion is Muslim and Christianity. Within our culture, mind you, there's little things that happen, but religion does actually bring us together. That's where the one time where you'll see like everyone getting along. Sometimes it's at church,
right,
or at the mosque,
right.
Everyone's doing it together. Everyone's praying together. Like there is that unification that happens in religion. So religion's not all bad. People, even some, again, depending on your level of growth that you're at,
right.
You can't hate religion. Religion serves its purpose.
It does. When you look at morals, right, and establishing of morals, although we may have called it an actual religion, but our spiritual systems, our mystery systems, they also, you're still looking at a set of, morals. Right, that we'd have to go ahead and abide by, right?
Absolutely. Cultural pride.
Lovely.
What? Put up your hand if you're a Trini. You see? Right away. It didn't even take long. It was like an instantaneous thing, right away. It's just your hand up. Cultural pride.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm telling you, okay, so real story. Martinique. when I was there, I was at an event, and it was like right away, this lady's like, I think there's another Jamaican girl here. Me and her got around very well.
For real.
Just because we were Jamaican. Unity, honestly, just being of the same culture, just like, boom. You eat Atkins saltfish? I eat Atkins saltfish. Yay! Plantain bammy. Woo! You know, like rub cake. Sorrel. Sorrel was hyped this year. Thanks, Mom.
Big up.
But all these things, that culture, when you can talk about those things and have that type of dialect, you know?
For real.
It's one of the reasons why sometimes people get married to people from the same culture. I thought I would never be with a Jamaican. Never. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, I don't think I'm going to end up with like. But then you end up, but it's honestly what probably unifies us even more, Dave, is the fact that we can share on cultural things.
Yeah.
Like growing up black.
Or things that Jamaican parents say.
Like growing up black, honestly,
yes,
like
for real, man.
There's certain things we all went through. You can sit down in a group of black Jamaicans and talk about, everyone would say something like, yeah, of course, guy. I mean, you had to pick a belt too, guy.
And I remember the mom, I did this.
You remember hardo bread, Regin? When all you had was hardo bread and butter?
What? You're lucky
remember
to get butter.
Regin? Like,
you're lucky. Sometimes you get hardo bread and condensed milk, me.
But that was a sugary treat. It really was. It's like cake.
For real. Yes, it was.
It's like cake. That's like a different experience. Condensed milk and cornflakes with hot water.
Yes. Right?
You know what I'm saying? Jamaicans be like, wow, that tastes nice. Like, and if I spoke to like a Latin person, it'd be like,
no, some of them may understand. Because remember, you're still looking at Caribbean culture, right?
I'm just saying, though. Like,
But
they
still,
talk about, like, empanadas and things. I don't know that much. All right, let's keep going. Art.
Okay.
Art. So art includes music.
Mm-hmm.
Art includes reggae, hip-hop.
Hip-hop.
That's the new music.
Yes.
It's it's sister to hip-hop.
Right,
okay?
right.
R&B.
Uh-huh.
Soca, jazz,
Mm-hmm.
and rhythm and blues and soul.
Right.
Art. Look at the artists in photographers.
Yes.
Photography is art.
Yes.
Some of the best photographers I personally know are African.
Yes.
Some of the best artists, some of the best dancers.
Yes.
Creators, designers,
Mm-hmm.
writers,
Mm-hmm.
all of these forms of art.
It's the expression of God, man. It's the hand of God working through you, straight up.
Unify.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the very last one that we're going to talk about is dialect. This one I like too.
Tell me now.
So, how we speak and what language we speak, it connects people.
Mm-hmm.
Africa has the most languages in the world, do they not?
Yeah.
And that's just Africa.
Yeah.
When you go to the islands, there is so many dialects.
Yes.
Just in the islands alone. Like, you can move from one island to the next and not understand what the hell they're saying.
True. Absolutely.
Right? But and some of us, it's English, but it's some mashup. So, for the French, it's Creole, which is the same thing.
Right,
it's like we created our own dialects so that we can, again, this is history.
Of course.
Because we needed to be able to communicate with each other so that the slave owners didn't know.
Right.
We had to find our own way of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So we make up words like, instead of upon, like pun.
Right. You know?
Instead of this.
Yeah, like my teacher, Brother Derek Williams, you know, he always uses an example in the class how, of course, you know, our foreparents, when they were on those slave ships, right, and so we're trying to understand, right, you know, what the captures, right, we're talking about, right, and how now the mesh of words or the merging of words, so like from like what happened to like what happened to like what, right?
It just got changed.
Exactly.
Completely.
Because, you know, of course, over time, of course, the tongue gets, you know, accustomed to, of course, what they're saying, right? So, I mean, you know, like, the dialect is something, it merges, it meshes, you know, people.
It unifies.
There you go.
It's a wonderful.
There you go.
See, guys? We can be unified. You just got to find your lane and stay in it. See you guys soon. I'm here to help you.
Welcome to Shadow Auto.
know it's tough.
And I know it sounds really scary.
But it's not your fault.
We live in a society that is geared that we do not succeed. It is put together, it is constructed in such a way that we fail. And you have to be greater than all of that.
Always stand with your head up and your shoulders back and be proud, and you are a warrior.
Always know that you are intelligent, beautiful, bright, and you have a future.
You have inherent worth in this society.
And above all else, you're my son.
Regardless of what happens, because I don't know what's going to happen today, tomorrow, whatever, just don't change. Don't change and be proud of who you are.
I love you with all that I am. I will teach you how to walk in this life. You don't have anything to be afraid of.
We'll get through this, and don't you ever, ever, ever blame yourself for what others do.
I love you. I believe in you. And I believe that others, just like you, who hold on to their light, together, you all will change the world.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back.
Greetings.
So, how I pulled the show together today. This week, actually, this show is in honor of a dear friend of ours. Let me turn the box this way, because I'm gonna be talking about this in a minute. This little box right here.
It's nice, right? That's all. Yeah,
Right
man.
there. So, the symbol, again, I'll be showing you guys that a little bit after. So this week, we attended a celebration of life
Yes.
ceremony.
Yeah, man. We were so fortunate to be invited.
And it was for a really dear friend of ours, actually a dear friend of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper and my
Yes.
TCN TV network.
Yes.
Miss Sheena Blake. Her father passed just at the end of 2018.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And celebration of life.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was,
That's
man.
exactly what it was. So her father, he had started an organization called the Black People Unite Revolution, or Incorporated, but Revolution is what it says on the box here. And this is actually how my show was spawned, was to honor him and to honor what his vision was, because his vision was humongous.
Right.
Like, what he was seeing, like, this has to be carried on, and I'm absolutely sure it's going to be, because it's huge.
It is. It's something that's I'm not even sure in regards to how long he may have had this idea. It's wonderful to see in regards to like some of the items that which has already spawned, right? Even though it probably still is in his infancy, right? So even like you have to be a visionary to go ahead and want to see and actually devise and chart an actual course or a plan, right? To see all of us come together and truly, truly unite.
And it's a pretty good plan. We're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So just a little bit of information and background on Black People Unite. So Black People Unite Incorporated is a nonprofit charitable organization aimed at eliminating poverty and providing resources for the emancipation of Black people, which I think is a lovely mission statement.
Of course.
Beautifully drafted. So Dave and I, when we were there, when we went and we noticed that there were boxes, beautifully painted boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, of everything, like flags.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter what it was. There were paintings, which we brought one of them today.
Yeah, let me move that, man.
Got to put this up so people can see. There are paintings. So that's the logo that's actually on the box that's there as well. All right, lower it a little bit, or just put it to the, yeah, you hold it in front of your face.
You put it in front of yours, okay? No.
Right here is good. Right here is perfect. Right here is perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. So there were paintings like this all over the house.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And I mean, everywhere you looked, you saw them. And I wasn't too sure what it was for. I didn't ask. At that point, we were just there to kind of be there for Sheena.
Right.
And then she let us know that, you know what, for us to help ourselves to boxes and to paintings. And I was drawn to this one instantly, which is why I picked it up. there was a small little donation container that was there.
Yes.
That we donated to because, again, it's about that reciprocity. You can't take without giving. It's really bad karma for you. Yeah, you can't do that, especially with this type of situation where this is an elder that has passed on and has transitioned to the ancestral world. Like, I don't want no enemies there. Let's be real. I'm not creating enemies on that side. I'm good, right?
True.
So, we picked a few items. We picked this painting. We had this box. Actually, in this box there is a card. Let's see the cards as well. Same thing with the logo on it. And there's also a crystal in the box that I picked up.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Which was kind of cool. And she's like, I guess that crystal was meant for you, Simone, because you picked up that box. That was yours. I still haven't figured out what the crystal is, but
I'm sure we can find it.
I'm going to find out because it is important. For some reason, that was put in my hand. So
awesome.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I'm sure we can find some people who want to talk about it.
So we also got a staff.
Yes, a walking stick.
A walking staff.
A rod of correction.
Which we keep at the door now.
Mm-hmm.
We keep at the door for our exit and entry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good protection piece.
It's lovely.
You know?
Lovely.
And I want to go over what he believed in. What were his thoughts about Black people as sovereign people? Because that was a huge topic for him. So I have a couple pictures there, I think, Anisha, just to kind of outline while I'm going through it. So here we go. So Black people unite. So do you believe in a united Black people, a sovereign Black people? That was one of his first questions in his booklet. It is only by the actions of Black people that we can unite and become a sovereign people. Are you in? It's a very direct question.
Right.
You know? Do you believe a united Black people, a sovereign Black people, would change or have an effect on your life? Unity is power. Power comes from your resources. A united Black people,
Jump to the next picture.
a sovereign Black people needs resources. What if it only took $20 yearly from each Black person to Black People Unite 20 billion resource fund? Would you donate $20 a year? Not a month,
Yeah.
a year.
Right.
Do you believe that it's your responsibility to keep Black People Unite Incorporated responsible and accountable for its actions during and after its development? I love that accountability. I love that. So it's like, yes, donate the money, but what's your belief in keeping us accountable for what we're doing?
Right.
That's very forward thinking.
Yes.
Very forward thinking.
Yes.
And if you agree, simply donate. That's it, right? So where would this $20 go? And this is what I appreciate about how he did this, is the fact that he stated what it was for. He asked you some direct questions on just to get you thinking, right? And then he's talked about how this would look if something like this could actually happen.
Correct.
So $1,000 saving bonds for a baby at birth.
Oh, that's excellent.
Okay.
At the start. Yeah.
At the start. Individual and family income assistance, so like our own welfare system.
Correct.
Healthcare assistance, daycare assistance, kindergarten to college and university, providing income for that.
Right.
Interest-free mortgages.
This is beautiful.
Wow. Small business assistance, community centers in rural areas, elders and disabled assistance. And the final question, is it worth $20 for you? That's his final question that he wrote. Is it worth $20? Me, it's worth $20.
Of course.
It's such a beautiful painting.
It is.
We have to put it up somewhere.
Don't worry. We'll find a place.
Just the idea that now I know Sheena's going to be doing some work on this. Now, she's asked everyone for a little bit of time. Naturally, she needs to still process and go through this. It's losing a father is not easy, especially when you're close to your father.
Correct.
I can relate. That's one thing I was thinking about during this whole thing, was just like, wow, how do you even do that?
Yeah.
So definitely you'll be hearing more from Sheena Blake. You can find her on Facebook. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her Discovering Diversity. She is a brilliant woman who does amazing things. And definitely, if you want more information on this project and on this corporation, on this is it a corporation? It's incorporated.
It's incorporated.
Okay.
Right.
Definitely contact her. Again, give her a little bit of time. But this is something that if you're interested, it's possible, guys.
Very possible.
And it's a really easy plan.
Yep.
$20 a year. We spend more of that on McDonald's a day. For some of us, let's be real. We spend more than that on food. Imagine we could all pool our resources together so we could have these things that some of us are begging the government for.
Enough said.
Guys, let's unite. Thank you very much for sitting in with us for the last 40 minutes or so. Have a wonderful new year. Dave, any last thoughts?
Much prosperity, much prosperity to everybody. You know, new year, new things, you know, new intelligence, by means, you know, lighter spirits, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Black people unite. Here to help you. See you guys next week.
Peace and love, family.